If you've ever had the feeling of being watched, then you've experienced scopaesthesia, an extrasensory ability to sense when you're being looked at. A holdover trait, perhaps, from earlier evolutionary steps. Unless you live in one of these areas, then it's more likely God. The concept was initially explored by 20th century psychologist and possibly my great-grandfather, Edward B. Titchener. In a study, he suggested that scopaesthesia might stem from an anxiety about being exposed, observing that people tended to glance over their shoulders in theaters or classrooms before becoming fully engaged with the presentation or performance. But what if this sensation goes beyond anxiety? What if you feel watched everywhere you go, every time you sit next to a window, every time your phone buzzes? Stalking is a serious issue, often a precursor to more severe interactions, and it becomes really challenging to address, but there are imperfect ways to deal with it. However, most of these ways are designed to deal with an individual. What do you do if it's an entire network that's after you?
Everyone from the government to aliens to the rich have been blamed. Here's on online message boards and through social media.
People started to follow me.
This is not a joke. This is not science fiction.
Since 2004, awareness of the term gangstalking has grown, facilitated by advancing technologies and an increasing online presence of personal data. Online forums have filled with quote-unquote targeted individuals, sharing experiences and speculations about government organizations, private clandestine groups, or conglomerates orchestrating campaigns of harassment. Real-world examples of this are often tied to racial and social movements, like desegregation in the 1960s, to modern instances, such as the targeted harassment campaign that 2 Georgia poll workers faced in the chaos of the 2020 election. Former officer of the Sea Org and Scientology member Gary Armstrong fell victim to gang stalking after discovering exaggerations and fabrications written in L. Ron Hubbard's notes. Some believe they're targeted by government organizations or corporate entities, citing police lapses in ethics and government overreach as evidence.
Block your view from what? My face?
The concept, however, becomes muddled when it becomes linked to paranoid disorders like BPD or schizophrenia. Though there are some that will argue that this correlation between the two is a deliberate attempt to discredit victims as a whole. The waters of legitimate claims become further muddied by these varied, bizarre, and sometimes outlandish narratives, making it really hard to discern fact from fiction. In this convoluted landscape, those who believe in political persecutions further blur the lines. Post-2016, an online movement spawned conspiracy theories about a child predatory network operating in a seemingly innocuous pizza shop in Washington, D.C. The aftermath of this movement drew many people into the orbit of Q. A dog walked by. Anyway, where was I? The aftermath of this incident drew a lot of people into the orbit of a mysterious figure known as Q, who claimed 45th President Donald Trump was engaged in a secret battle against the deep state, fighting against child trafficking rings, allegedly involved in heinous acts like child abuse, harvesting adrenochrome, and satanic rites. The QAnon movement adds yet another layer of complexity to the intricate tapestry of gangstalking narratives. In the midst of these narratives, it's crucial to differentiate between genuine instances of harassment and those intertwined with mental health issues or manipulated for a political agenda. The challenges lie in discerning reality from fiction, and the impact of people who genuinely feel targeted is significant and real, whether by organized networks,
Police raiding a small-town Kansas newspaper.
or the consequences of broader societal paranoia. From scopaesthesia to lizard people harvesting adrenochrome, it's like a script written by a caffeinated squirrel. We live in a world right now that could be the Mad Hatter's Tea Party. Reality sips on absurdity, and distinguishing between genuine concerns and tinfoil hat fantasies feels like a cosmic game of Twister. So whether you're dodging your lizard overlords, crafting the best tinfoil hat, or side-eyeing your phone, just remember, you're being watched right now. They know where you are. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching the video. Hopefully you dug it. Please remember to hit that like, comment, and subscribe. Share this around with your buddies. And until next time, toodaloo.